When I was younger, especially throughout middle school, I dealt with bullying and toxicity constantly. I've never been much of an internet user, but I decided to post my story after watching some of these on YouTube. This situation happened when I was in 7th grade. During that time, I was progressively bullied by a group of kids I will call the Goonies. I'm not a small person and I never have been. Around that time I was around 5'11" and 150 pounds. Although I'm big for my age, I've never been one to fight back. I have impulse control issues and ADHD, so when I get worked up I have a hard time calming down, or I got overboard. Even so, I can mostly hold back my emotions when on medication. The Goonies, the group of kids who constantly made my life hard throughout my school experience. The group comprised of 5 to 6 kids, mostly small and on the football team, but due to their numbers they had an advantage over most people in my school. They preyed consistent on people who were without a group. Most of the time they just took food items during lunch and asked for money from others. On the bad days they would fight others and take whatever they wanted. They had been preying on me and my group of friends for a while, mostly talking shit and taking food. This time was different though. I had worn my grandfather's chain and crossed to school I had gotten as inheritance when he passed the week before. When I tell you it meant a lot to me, it did. My grandfather was my pride and joy. We had the best relationship as my father was mostly out of town working. He has never been in the best health, but he got lung cancer a few months before and passed on. The chain was all I really had besides some model train sets and a ukulele. That day I wore my chain to remove some of the grief I was feeling from his passing to make it through the day. My friends knew about the passing and were trying to comfort me throughout the day. But the one class I don't have with them was gym, and in our school we are required to remove jewelry before class. That part was uneventful. The problem was when I went back into the locker room. All of the goons had gym the period after, and I would see them as I was in the locker room. As I walked in and took my chain out of my locker, one of them took notice and immediately asked what I had in my hand. I, of course, wanting not to cause problems, said nothing important. I went to the bathroom to put it on, and when I walked out all of them were waiting for me. They started to tell me to give them what was around my neck. In the moment I was on the verge of tears because I didn't want to lose one of the only things I had left to remember my grandfather. So I made a run for it. They blocked the door and started punching and kicking me. I didn't want to cause a fight because I knew it would get out of hand, and I up until then had a perfect school record. When they stopped I sat up and started to try and leave. The main Goonie, the leader of the pack, grabbed the chain and ripped it of me, breaking it and mangling the cross that my grandfather took such pride in. He started laughing as I stared at him in pure disbelief. I saw red. I lost it and started pummeling the main kid, grabbing him by his collar and smashing his head over and over again into the concrete, while his friends watched screaming to stop trying to pry me away. The gym teacher heard all of the commotion. I don't know how he didn't hear me getting jumped before, and came in running, yanking me away from main goon and locking me in his office. He called the nurse and an ambulance. He was freaking out. I got suspended for 3 months only due to cameras in the hall that could see into the window of the door. It witnessed them jumping me. The only reason I didn't get arrested was that camera. Thank God for technology. This might not seem like nuclear revenge yet, but here's the list you are waiting for. Injuries: fractured skull, broken nose, broken jaw, 8 lost teeth, and severe brain damage. He was out for 4 months with some time in the hospital. He didn't make it back onto the football team due to the fear his head would get hit. His grades also took a hit, and he had to repeat 2 years. My group, on the other hand, have been free from bullying ever since. So what do you guys think? Did I take it too far, or was it deserved? Let me know in the comments.